They are talking about us.
Living in your head rent-free all this time.
We must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I am your guest host this afternoon, sitting in for Sterling. And yeah, we got lots to talk about, and I'd love to hear from you when we come back. So stay tuned.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Radio Cayman Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I am your host this afternoon. And thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, I'm waiting for my guest, but I don't see anyone currently on the horizon. So I am flying solo and would love to hear from you. 1-800-534-8255. I think that works sometimes, but 949-8037 does work. 949-6990 also works, or WhatsApp 925-3261. Would love to hear from you this afternoon, just to hear what's on your mind. A few announcements before we start. Just a reminder that this Friday is going to be that beautiful Caribbean Blue concert given by the Cayman National Choir and the Cayman National Orchestra. And it's going to be at the Harquail Theater on this Friday, which is the 7th. It starts at 7:30, and you can get your tickets on eventpro.ky, and tickets are just $30. And that's pretty awesome, actually. So go out and support. And you know what's beautiful about these events as well? Lots of great networking. And of course, I have been doing a call out ever since they were in the studio to say, if you're a musician, if you're a singer and you'd like to perform or be a part of a company, you know, a tribe of like-minded people, go sign up. Just go be a part of it, because yes, we need to show up and we need to fill spaces. And I'm not the one to be talking about the negative stuff, really. And sometimes that bothers people. People really just want me to be on this little negative train with them. I can't do it. Sorry. Cannot do it. I know that there are things in life that are bad, or things in life that, don't work out or we can be upset about. But I'm trying to get up every day and find the joy in the life. So a lot of people don't like that. Like, for some reason, people really want me to be complaining. Like, I'm not the one. No, because all these years that I've lived, I think we're getting a WhatsApp call or something. All these years that we're living, that I've been living, oh no. I might have been miserable in my 30s, but I am not going to be miserable in my 50s. I'm so sorry about that one. Call us back if you were just trying to call, please. We'd like the call. Do we have the caller? Okay, we do. We have the caller on the phone? Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon. Are you the one?
I'm the one.
No, you're not the one. You're
Don't
not the one, though.
don't
You're
let me
not the
start
one.
rapping
Okay.
because I have a salt and pepper. I'm not the one to be done, son. Okay, so I am the one. How are you doing?
Okay. LL Cool J wants some royalties.
Oh no, I
Um,
don't. I hope not.
uh,
How
no,
are
just
you?
calling in while you have a break before your guest to just really emphasize that members of the public, especially Georgetown residents, that extends halfway up West Bay Road, as you know, should come out tonight to the Plan Cayman meeting at
Right.
the town hall. I think it's at the town hall at 7. But we haven't had one of these. We've been calling for these for probably 30, 40 years. So it's happening now. So just, I know there's a bulletin on the news or something, but whatever you can do to remind people, encourage people. The West Bays was a couple of nights ago, and that was interesting. So encourage people to come out tonight as well
Oh,
to
every
Georgetown.
day I've been encouraging them. So absolutely, thank you so much for calling about that. But every day I've been telling them exactly where they can.
Okay,
Yes, where they can
cool.
attend a meeting. And you know, as you're saying, we have to go to these meetings. We can't just sit on the sidelines and complain, right? And
And
so
a lot of the feedback they're asking for is electronic online. And, local people don't like to do that. They don't like to put things in writing.
right.
So if you don't want to go online and read the whole thing electronically and comment, then go out to the meeting.
Go to the meeting.
And yep,
There's going to be a live meeting on Facebook, the Cayman Islands Government Facebook and Cayman Islands Government YouTube, and that's going to be July 18th from 12 to 1 p.m. So,
Okay, right.
there's also an opportunity there for a virtual public consultation, but we have to be there. We have to show up, and we just can't take the hearsay, right?
Right,
And
yep.
yeah, and for our voices to be heard. So thank you. I appreciate that. And
All
I will
right.
I will
And
definitely be reminding.
remind those kids in school and going about the summer to watch out for that sun, wear hats and all that. It's
Right.
brutal out there.
Right, exactly.
All right.
Thank you so
Have a
much for
good
that
day.
call this afternoon. I appreciate that. Do we have another caller on the phone? All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Definitely, as the caller just mentioned, let me go ahead and remind you right now. We talked about West Bay is gone. June the 6th, that's tonight. Is that tonight? Yes, tonight. Georgetown Constitution Hall, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's going to be the time for all of the meetings, by the way, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Savannah will be June the 10th. That will be at the Savannah United Church, 7 to 9. Bordentown will be at the Bordentown Church of God. And Northside will be July the 4th. And Bordentown is June 13th, Bordentown Church of God. And Northside is July 4th at the Edna Moyle Primary School, which will be 7 to 9 as well. And Cayman Brac will be July 8th, Ashton Ruddy Center, and 7 to 9. Little Cayman will be July 15th at the Little Cayman Beach Resort. And East End will be July 18th at the William Allen Civic Center. And they're all going to be at 7 to 9. And as I just said, there will be a virtual public consultation live, the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page and the Cayman Islands Government YouTube page. And that will be July 18th from 12 to 1. So the closing date for comments on the planning statements will be July 30th. So you have until July 30th. And attending any of these meetings would be very, very good for you and informative. So if you need reminders on that, you can always WhatsApp us and we can send you a reminder. Or not a reminder, we can just tell you the dates on that if you missed it just now or during any of our shows. But thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more talk today.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Have you completed and returned your business survey forms? The deadline for the annual business surveys is June 14th. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the Economics and Statistics Office. For assistance in completing the forms or for more information, call 244-4676, 244-4600, or visit www.eso.ky. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, continue with some announcements a little bit, or reminders of things that's happening tonight at Pedro St. James, 7:30 p.m. It is D-Day, the celebration of D-Day. It's the 80th year celebration. So sounds like it's going to be a pretty nice time. It'll be some, veterans that will be there. The governor will be there, a couple of other people, it'll be government officials. Great time to talk to people, great time to meet people. And also just celebrate, this occasion. I know Mr. Loxley Banks will be there. So if you hear the voice and you want to meet the man, he's going to be there. So that's going to be tonight at Pedro St. James at 7:30. It'll be refreshments and, just a nice time. It'll be a pretty short program. It won't be too long. I think it'll be over by 9 o'clock. So get there a little early and enjoy the festivities in celebration of our veterans, obviously. That's good stuff. And I just reminded you of Friday, the concert that's going to be had by the Cayman National Choir and the Cayman National Orchestra. And I had those ladies in, I think, on Monday talking with them, and we talked about the need for more locals to join that. So, when we go to some of these concerts or during Christmas time, when we see like a nice concert or some type of thing being done, and it's the Cayman National Choir, and then you're standing there and there's like 50 people in the choir and there's 4 Caymanians. So, it's because you're not going. You have to sign up. All right. So if you're a musician or a singer, please sign up. And I always say that we can't talk about it if we're on the sidelines. We have to be in the mix. Okay. And so also, the Age Proud campaign, the Age Proud Cayman campaign, is going to happen on the 15th of June, and that's going to be on a Saturday from 10 to 2. Registration starts at 8:30. So that's going to be awesome also. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you are a part of that as well. And that's just learning about aging, how to be age friendly in our society. It's so important. It's the Council of Older Persons launched a grassroots public education awareness campaign in November of 2023. It was called Age Proud Cayman, to help challenge implicit bias and dispel stereotypes around aging. Okay? So Age Proud, it's a global campaign. It seeks to change the thoughts, the feelings, attitudes, and perceptions about aging throughout local communities. And on a national level, Cayman is just one of the countries that is localizing the growing environment. It's important because research has proven that prejudices about groups of people negatively contribute to health and well-being outcomes. The Cayman Islands Older Person Policy advocates for the rights of older persons to live with dignity and have the opportunity to participate in all aspects of life. And yesterday, my guest, Ms. Lucille Seymour, who's the chairperson of the Older Persons Council, as well as Danielle Hemming, who's the wellness representative for the Ministry of Health, as they were saying, you know, especially Miss Lucille, who is, you know, her sister said her sister called in and said, I'm 70 years old and my sister's 10 years older than me. So I'm not going to tell Miss Lucille's age. Okay, but you do the math. And, you know, she said, I walk around Georgetown almost every day and I don't see anybody looking like me that's local. But I see the tourists, they're walking, they have their walking sticks, they have their if they have to walk with a walker, if they have to be pushed in a wheelchair, they are coming off the ships and they're on vacation, and they're also being pushed by younger people. And so the generational thing exists. And as I was saying, in Europe, Austria, Switzerland, England, I mean, people are out walking and they're out riding and they're out, you know, living. So I think that's something that is really important in our society, to be age friendly and to bring the older people out. I was reminiscent about my grandmother, who was actually my great grandmother, you know, being out in Georgetown. We went to town on Saturday night and the older people would sit in the middle right there where Mr. Don, you know, Mr. Don that sells the food, right in the middle with the houses there on the courthouse property. There used to be some benches there. And right there, the older people would sit, and on the right side would be By Right, and on the left side would be Comart and Kirk Plaza and McDonald's. And so they would just keep sending us. And I even remember Clements. I believe that's the man's name, Mr. Clements. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's his name, though. We used to run down where Hard Rock is now. It was around there. And also another little store called Bodden's. I can't remember the name exactly of that, but we'd run down there as well and go buy cool drinks and chips and all sorts of stuff. And I remember like the older people just being there. And they'd send us, and we'd just have the greatest fun just running and running back. Mr. Clinton, not Clement. Did I say Clement? Mr. Clinton. Thank you, Susan. You got my brain. You know what I'm talking about, right? Mr. Clintons. Yes. And we'd run down there and we'd get like a bulla and all sorts of stuff. And I remember like we would buy new things, and the older people, Miss May Bodden, who's still alive, beautiful lady from the Adventist Church, and she'd say, "What are you drinking there?" And I'd say, "Oh, I've never tried that. Get me one of those." And they'd try it, you know. And it was beautiful because it was a very intergenerational experience. And I grew up really loving and respecting these older women. Miss May at the time would have been a younger woman to my grandmother and those other ladies. And Deborah Bodden, is it Deborah Gallego, right? You guys know Shanda Gallego. I mean, listen, I can just go down the list. So how we have come so far from not having our seniors be a part of our tapestry is a very serious thing. So this thing that they're having, this program that they're having, really is to address stuff like that and to kind of bring us back to, somewhere. So I think attending this would be really good. So it's on Saturday, June 15th from 10 to 2:30. And it's Aging in the Cayman Islands, and it's an Age Proud forum. And so a lot of people will be there talking about it and, just working, kind of trying to work in tandem to just end those outdated perceptions and just celebrate all ages and stages of life. And this is primarily our older people. So I'm excited about that. So June 15th, Saturday, 10 to 2:30 at UCCI. And so go ahead and look forward to that. They were also saying the Emancipation Day celebration, where there's a video of Miss Lucille dancing. There was a couple of other older people dancing. I believe it's, what is the lady's name there, Susan? You'll have to help me. I think it's Tara's mother. Do you know the lady? She's an older lady. But I do believe her daughter's name is Tara. I'm not sure. No, probably not. I don't know what. No, hold on. It's, anyway, I can't. It's radio, so I can't even be pausing trying to figure out what this brain is telling me. What is the lady's name, though? Man, I'd have to be like I'd have to give you a Caymanian story to even be able to. Anglin, the last name of the lady's name is Anglin. Trenda, I believe it's Trenda's mom. It's not Tara, it's Trenda's mom. Anyway, a West Bear would know this lady, I'm telling you. So if you remember, please call me and let me know. She was out there dancing. It was so nice just to see that the older people were dancing and having a good time. Swanky Kitchen Band was there. It was a lot of different performers. It was really, I hadn't seen that much Caymanians, maybe in the last over a year or more, that many Caymanians in one place. Absolutely. And it was right there on Seafarer's Way. And that's a beautiful space that once a month they need to be hosting something like that, because we honestly need to be, all of us taking it serious, that we are, advocating for our older people in our communities, because we might not be older, but we might have an older person in our life. We will become older if we're blessed. And so we're all going to be affected by aging. So aging gracefully is the way to go. Miss Marlena Anglin? Okay, maybe. Miss Marlena Anglin. Thank you for calling. Someone called and said that. Definitely appreciate that. We're going to take a break. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com. Father's Day is coming up. Create the perfect gift with a custom gift basket from Savannah Pharmacy. Choose from a variety of items including grooming kits, teas, coffee mugs, wallets, and for his office desk, a unique selection of nautical gifts and stationery. Personalize your Father's Day gift basket and keep the basket too. Visit Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village or call 946-3336 to get all your Father's Day essentials. Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Did you know that there are over 300 public rights-of ways to the shoreline across the 3 Cayman Islands? Now you can find them easily with the new Shoreline iMap at gov.ky/shoreline. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today, Catherine Tyson Sewell. I am your host. What's on our mind? Lots of stuff, Joelle. That's a great question. Lots of stuff. But right now, what we're talking about, and I'm going to stay on it, is aging just a little bit, because I did get a WhatsApp message that says we don't need old retired civil servants. We have old Caymanians that can't afford basic needs and are dying off. They're dying with hunger and lack of medical needs. We need to look more into having our young families who need employment and giving them employment, and our Caymanian seniors giving them medical care and the basics. All right. Now you heard, right? Because this is the reality. So when we are hiring retired civil servants, I guess it's more like we're hiring them because they need money to take care of their lives. But we have young people that do need jobs and they're trying to build their lives. But older people need their basic needs. And they should not be without. And a lot of people, and I'm a social worker, so I worked in an industry where people that have not prepared for their older years are now in a crisis, or they just worked. They continued to work in jobs that did not provide a monthly pension at the end of it. And so not thinking about it, just trying to survive every day. And now you're 60 or 65, and there's so many older people that are actually renting rooms that do not own properties. So the listener that's actually sent this text, they're right on the money. There's a lot of people that are suffering and in need. So absolutely, we need to make sure that we're taking care of them, right? So this Older Persons Act, it's the function of the council are some of the things that they do are advocating for and monitoring the level of public education on changing needs of older persons within the community. They also serve as a referral facility to provide information on services and resources for older persons. So if you're aware of some of these things, that you really can reach out to this, the council, right? Because that's what they're in place to do. So they aim to ensure the promotion, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of the policy in relation to older persons, promote participation, involvement, and social inclusion of older persons, and promote a skills bank of older persons. So the vision for the council has been always an age-friendly society. So society should be age friendly. And you find in societies it is harder to ensure that your youngest person is being respected and valued as much as the middle people, who are the ones that are working and running and holding the ball and holding the responsibilities and basically running the country, right? But the ones that are not there yet need the attention because they will fit into that slot. And the ones that are past that need attention because you, who's in that slot right now, that's going to be your slot next. So you see, it's just a circle of life. So absolutely, go out to this Aging in the Cayman Islands, Aging with Dignity. It's going to be a forum at UCCI on Saturday, June the 15th, and it starts at 10 a.m., but the registration and info booths are open from 8:30 a.m., and it's free to the public. And you could go check it out on gov.ky/olderpersonscouncil to get more information. We have a caller on the phone. We'll go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today. Yes, it's Lady Catherine. I'm all right. I'm okay. What's on your mind today? Sorry? It's very funny, I am a very humorous person, but I'm very serious also. So I mean, it sounds like a great idea. I'm not. I'm not sure. It. Maybe it feels like something that might be connected to a ministry, like the Ministry of Culture or something like that, Culture and Arts. And so I know that all the ministries, especially that ministry, has like grants for certain things. So I believe like maybe it's something that you need to put together as a proposal and see if you have some other musicians that will come in with you and so you're able to put together something that's very sound and you know you were saying something. Yeah, sounds that sounds like a great idea. Yes, for sure. So yeah, so I think that's something that yeah, you continue on, that track and then let's see where that can go. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for just the interest and just thinking about it because, being a part of the solution is always so much better than being a part of the problem. So thanks for that call this afternoon. We do have another caller on the phone. We'll go to the phones again. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today. Hi there. Hi, can you hear me? Yes. I have guests on my paper, but I don't have any, and they didn't arrive yet. So I think so too. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yes. Right. It was.
I'm getting one of them now. Um, or I'm getting to be one of those. Um, it, two of them were talking to me yesterday. I love to talk to them because they're experienced and they can tell you of things that you really don't know and we should know about our elderly in Cayman,
right,
especially in the districts that we live in. But they were complaining that when we start having stuff in this island, everything is piled up, one thing after the next, and then for months, nothing is going on.
Right.
They don't know about it. They don't get invited. You know, they say families is not like how it used to be back in their day when people helped. Say it's a few still help, but others are forgotten about. They were wondering why is that, and they're the experienced one that has helped build Cayman. So I thought that I'll mention that because I've been hearing that sort of thing for ages, and God knows that we have enough churches that churches can put on programs instead of being closed up every night and in darkness. They can put on different things that the elderly can get to attend to, and some of them got more life, as we would call it, and more get up and go than the younger people. So let's involve them in everything that we can involve them in. Maybe even go to visit, because some of them just want to talk, and we can involve them in maybe taking them somewhere, even to Commander Bay to get some ice cream, or I had elderly people to tell me they haven't seen town in 7 years.
Right.
Can you imagine that?
Right. Yes.
So we need to do more with the elderly instead of forgetting them and you old, you're not with it, and blah blah blah. That's not. Let's respect each other and help each other. Thanks, Catherine.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for taking the call.
Yeah, no, thank you for calling. Great points, and we will talk a little bit about that when we come back from the break. I'm going to read this right before the news, though. There is Radio Cayman will be broadcasting tonight's public consultation on Plan Cayman live from the Georgetown Constitution Hall from 7 to 9 p.m. Tonight's consult will focus on the 2024 Draft Planning Statement. Plan Cayman is the proposed development plan for the Cayman Islands, setting out large-range policies and proposals for physical development and use of land. View the planning statement at www.plancayman.ky and share your feedback at tonight's public consultation meeting at the Georgetown Constitution Hall, which will be live on Radio Cayman from 7 until 9 p.m. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Talk Today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The Public Accounts Committee is currently meeting to discuss the effectiveness of Cayman Airways Limited. The Public Accounts Committee heard from the Acting Auditor General that whilst CAL year-on-year runs a deficit, nevertheless the national airline generates some $200 million into the Cayman economy. The hearing continues in the House of Parliament, available on CIG TV and Breeze 105.3. In regional news, the Guyana government has resolved issues with Calcu Guyana Incorporated, the Trinidadian contractor for the Conservation Tree Road project, due to significant delays. An agreement ensures that Calcu will pay for the completed work and settle all financial obligations. The company has been removed from the project, and local contractor S. Jagmohan and Son has been appointed to finish the work, with a target completion date well before Christmas. Ministry of Public Works is collaborating with 9 small contractors to enhance the boulevard with a new walkway, lighting and landscaping. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has confiscated high-grade marijuana valued at Trinidad $17.7 million and arrested a 63-year-old man for trafficking. The seizure, part of a crackdown on major drug networks, included 117 packets of U.S. and Colombian marijuana, totaling 99.7 kilograms. Police Commissioner Erla Herwood Christopher emphasized the operation's role in distributing illegal drug activity and urged public cooperation in reporting crimes. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
At Kirk Market, it's so easy to eat well and find healthy options. With their fresh veggies from local farmers, hormone-free chicken, local seafood, and grass-fed meats, Kirk Market has delicious, quality food at the best prices. And you must check out their fresh salad bar, hot bar, and med bar for daily healthy options on the go. Their delicious dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients such as prime meats and organic veggies. Eating great is important to me. That's why Kirk Market is my store. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and shop happy.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment is to ensure our islands consider responsible use of our natural resources while preserving our native species and habitats for future generations. Learn more at conservation.ky.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. What happened? I was out of my chair. I was trying to sort myself for lunch. And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell, your host, and clearly hungry. I was just actually talking about when I was a young woman and I was a police officer. Yes, I was. Right out of high school. And we were right there at the Central Police Station. And Miss Elrita, I believe, used to bring food for the prisoners every 12 o'clock. I was wondering, somebody don't bring food for us up here? I feel like a prisoner in this chair from 12 to 2:30. How does Swain do it? How does he do this? I come in hungry. That's so crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yes, that caller made some great points. And I think that we really do need to look at what, official things that we need to do for our seniors. And yes, involving the church is a very good idea because the church is really the place it's the place for healing. So why not? And we have a lot of churches on island. So each district has how many churches? So maybe the government needs to work closely with the church to see if we are able to do something. Obviously, they would need transportation. Because when you hear that a senior citizen has said they have not come to town in 7 years, I mean, come on. I understand, going to Miami in 7 years, but, come to town? How is this even possible? And I know we were talking, we were talking about changing the name of older persons or elderly. I think that's why they changed the name to that. Anyway, I do have some guests in the studio, and as they walked in, I think Alfonso Wright, good afternoon. Thank you for coming. He said, I must think it's Groundhog Day, but I said, no, you changed your shirt because you were here just the other day.
Talking about the same thing.
Talking about the same thing. So it's like a loop.
Yeah.
So Alfonso Wright from Celebrate Cayman. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
And Mr. Loxley Banks.
Hello.
From Radio Cayman, from all over. And he's here. We're talking about D-Day. I've been plugging it for sure. So everybody that's been listening or watching, hi to the viewers too. There are viewers out there. Thank you all for tuning in. They know about this thing that's happening tonight at Pedro Castle.
That's good.
7:30. That's very, it's been plugged for sure. So are we kind of talking about the same thing again?
Yes, we are. I know when I said to you what I did when I came in is because we as Celebrate Cayman had 2 dates booked, which was Monday and today.
Okay.
But the veterans had another date booked, which was Tuesday that we were here before Mr. Banks invited me to come along.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it's been. But
okay.
It's a message that we can't repeat too much.
Right.
So we want to make sure that the word gets out there.
Yeah, okay.
Of what's going on.
All right. So let's talk about it then.
Well, it is tonight. Today is the 80th anniversary of D-Day, of the landing on the beaches of Normandy, France. The 6th of June, 1944, when the Allied forces made their move after a long bit of planning to try to demobilize or to defeat the German Hitler German war machine. And the day is being commemorated because it was a successful outing and herald the end of the war from there on in. Didn't quite finish that day, but that was the big move that was the beginning of the end, is how we should put it.
Right.
So here in the Cayman Islands, as well as the United Kingdom, the Allied countries, all the British overseas territories, are recognizing, along with these other people, the significance of what happened on that day. So we're having our event. These events happen every 10 years. The last one would have been when that is now.
2014.
2014. And this event will be at Pedro St. James. As you said earlier, gates will be open from 7:30. The actual program is probably going to be about half hour, 45 minutes at the most. But we want to have people. We have displays that we want people to participate in. We have a good bit of history. Most of it we've only just uncovered, so it's a lot of it is virgin. People will not have seen this before. They may know something about it, but a lot of information that we have are things that have not been made public before. There will be a beacon lighting, which is supposed to happen at precisely 9:15. That correlates with 2:15 Europe time, when the actual invasion began.
Oh, okay.
Is why it seems to be an odd hour, but it was like 2 a.m. Over there when the assault started. I think there were like 23,000 paratroopers descended upon France, and then the landing crafts came ashore. So while some may question why the late hour of the night, it is what it is.
You're lining it up, right?
Yeah.
For that's the time that it would have actually happened.
Yeah. So we're asking people to come out. Her Excellency the Governor will be there. The Honorable Premier will be there, and we'll have a message from both of them, and also a message from the President of the Veterans Association. We're honoring them. It's the veterans that we are honoring.
Right.
We don't have anyone left who actually took part in World War II. Am I correct in saying that, Mr. Banks? With us, that's going to be there tonight.
I don't think they've got any Caymanians living here anyway.
Right. So, but they are veterans still the same who would have participated in other events at other times in the world, because there always has to be people who are ready and prepared for when these things do happen. And so we're going to be celebrating them tonight. So we're asking families, friends of the veterans, and to please come out and show their respects and honor them. It's just for a short time.
Yes.
At a fantastic location, Pedro St. James.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a really lovely setup, lovely event. So there's no reason not to go out and just, honor our veterans. And there was actually one Caymanian in this we talked about on Tuesday, right?
That's right.
There was one Caymanian.
Yeah, Mr. Banks can tell you more about that.
You have a caller? Okay, we do have a caller. Do you want to go to the phone? Okay, we'll go to the phones and then we'll come back. Caller, you want to talk today? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi there.
This goes to Mr. Alfonso. I knew a couple years back, I'm the daughter of the late Clifton Borden, better known as CB.
CB, yes, ma'am.
And we were trying to get the names of all of the people that were in the Home Guard. Now, this started like 5 years back before my father passed away. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to get all of the names. Unfortunately, we had a few missing, and we were trying to get a monument at Pedro St. James Castle in honor of all of the men in the Home Guard. And I think it is high time that we start doing something to remember our men that made this island. And I don't have to tell you because you know where I am going now. And it is very sad that people come in here and their names and their faces are on things. And we, the poor Caymanian children of the true-born Caymanians that have made this island what it is today, they are all in their graves. Nothing has been remembered of each and every one of them. And I would appeal to anyone that has a member of the Home Guard to please come forward and call their names and let us continue this monument at Pedro St. James, because I think our fathers, the real grassroots Caymanians, need to be standing tall at Pedro St. James. And I thank you for listening, and I hope this is just the beginning of what we have to accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling this afternoon. Obviously,
but there is
much truth to that.
There is a monument, so to speak. There is a memorial on 4th Street, on Seafarers Way.
Well, yeah, there is one there that it's a sort of combo thing, I guess, seafaring and
Home Guard.
Well, not Home Guard. I'm thinking of the Captain Ali and his son Kirkham, but the Home Guard.
Yeah, there was something there. I'm not saying I'm not discounting Aloysius' point. I do take her point, and I will pass the message on as best as I can because it's above my pay grade to make these decisions. But there is something there that recognizes the Home Guard where the cotton tree was in the old fort there on the Home Guard.
Yes.
Yeah, there is something there. I can't recall right now whether it has names on there. But like I say, just so you know, we too are working feverishly on trying to get all the names of the Home Guard in one place. And if you come by tonight, we've upgraded that some. We've had a few names added. You'll be able to see what we've done so far, and you can help us if there's someone who should be on there that isn't there. Bring the list that you have, because this is only how we can get this done. We publicize what we have, and people tell us who is missing. So if you can come out tonight, please do that.
Okay, so it kind of sounds like you need the general public's assistance to ensure that no one is forgotten.
Correct.
Because it has been a long time ago, and so it's not on purpose that people's names have been not included, and so you're kind of asking that the general public get involved to ensure that. Because I understand that too, right? You understand that if you don't see your father's name, or you don't see, or you hear that something is being is happening that's going to honor different people, but then your parent or your grandfather, your uncle is not there, that you would kind of want to speak up about that. So
yeah, and that's only how we know how to do it, because also the Home Guard was a fluid thing. Some started and didn't continue. Some came on later and so on. So it wasn't like they all started one time and they all finished one time. That's not how it went.
Right.
There was an initial registration, I think, but then it expanded from there. And in these things, just like I have found with seafaring records, that sometimes you get people give you names that they believe were seafarers,
right,
and they were not. So you have to be careful too. Someone may think that, so and so I believe was a Home Guard,
right?
But they were involved in something similar, and not necessarily the Home Guard. So we gotta be careful too.
Okay.
But I would encourage people to come out tonight and see what we have on display.
Yes. Okay. That sounds good. So that's going to be tonight, Pedro Castle, Pedro St. James, 7:30, and it's going to be a great program. So yes, Mr. Loxley.
Well, yeah, I think that, as I often say, we never sang, or we don't sing our song loud enough and often enough for the community to really, really know as much as they can about the Cayman Islands history, the Cayman Islands culture, the Cayman Islands heritage, and the whole 9 yards. So I think with Alfonso in the Celebrate Cayman thing, which I think encapsulate really something that we should drive forward, we can hope that we're going to make some strides, and strides have been made. And I think the more that the public gets involved, the greater the strides.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with more. So we'll take a break, and then we'll come back with some more talk today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's Home Loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to inform its Cayman BRAC customers that there will be temporary interruptions to water service from Monday, June 3rd to Friday, June 7th between the hours of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on specified days. Affected streets are Severy Close, Lilies Lane, Valerie Avenue, Lime Lizard Way, and Harold Drive. Customers who will be affected will receive a door hanger notice, which will be delivered the day before service is scheduled to be interrupted. An additional door hanger notice will also be delivered upon restoration of water service. These service interruptions are to facilitate our ongoing leak detection project. The aim is to enhance our system's integrity by identifying and repairing all possible leaks. We advise customers to store enough water for personal use during service interruptions and limit the use of water-intensive appliances. For further information, customers may contact the customer service team in Cayman BRAC by calling 948-1403 or emailing braccs@waterauthority.ky.
Radio Cayman will be broadcasting tonight's public consultation on Plan Cayman Live from the Georgetown Constitution Hall from 7 until 9 p.m. Tonight's consult will focus on the 2024 Draft Planning Statement. Plan Cayman is the proposed development plan for the Cayman Islands, setting out long-range policies and proposals for physical development and use of land. View the planning statement at www.plancayman.ky and share your feedback at tonight's public consultation meeting taking place at the Georgetown Constitution Hall. It will air live on Radio Cayman from 7 until 9 p.m.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
Check out the new farmers market at the Agricultural Pavilion Showgrounds in Lower Valley, Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Local produce, agriculture products, authentic Caymanian food, and catch up with your friends and neighbors while the kids play. Eat, shop, and play at the farmers market at the grounds in Lower Valley. It's taking place Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Fusion.
10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Biggest variety in the morning. RC Fusion.
Following the 10 a.m. news headline.
Brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, 27 Godfrey Nixon Way.
RC Fusion.
The Georgetown Farmers Market. It's time you start eating local. The market at the Cricket Grounds.
And My K&A Cleaners. Call or WhatsApp 326-3379 for your free quote today.
Biggest variety in the morning.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell. I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. What's on our mind and what we're talking about in the studio right now is D-Day. And the celebration is the 80th year, right? 80th celebration of D-Day. And I am in the studio with Mr. Alfonso Wright, who is with Celebrate Cayman, and Mr. Loxley Banks, who is all things veterans, basically, right?
All things Cayman.
Oh, well, for sure, that. And our, I mean, that voice. Everybody knows that voice. The minute you called the other day and they were like, "Yeah, Mr. Loxley." I was trying to figure out who's that. Oh my. Alfonso, you wanted to share something with us before. I think we have some things that Mr. Loxley brought along as well.
Well, if I might, we've always talked about, Susan, about the correlation or the connection with
Catherine.
Sorry, what did I say?
Susan's laughing. Susan.
I say Susan.
Susan's laughing.
Susan's on my mind.
Always.
Sorry, Catherine. Yes. Of the connection between our seafaring heritage and the men who served in the armed forces throughout the world, that there's always this connection, and also to understand back in the early part of the 19th century how things were and how difficult it was, for us to live. And I just want to, I have a authentic document here that speaks to a James Emsley E. Banks, later changed his name to Banks. And this is dated the first day of May 1918, and it's titled British Vice Consulate, Tampa. And it reads, "I hereby certify that the bearer, James E. Banks, age 12, height 4 feet 11 inches, whose photograph is attached hereto, claims to be a natural-born British subject and has produced to me evidence in support of his claim, and I have no reason to doubt his statement on this certificate, which was signed by him in presence and given only for the purpose of his engagement on board the American schooner Beatrice." Now, I'll read further on. James Emsley Banks, who is Mr. Loxley Banks' father.
Wow.
Commenced his career as a seaman at the age of 12
years old.
According to the documentation displayed above, shortly afterwards, when he became a U.S. citizen, he dropped the E from his last name, changing it from Ebanks to Banks. He sailed with the U.S. Merchant Marines for over 40 years, including service in the Pacific during World War II. Again, the connection with seafaring and the military.
Right.
He was a part owner in the J.P. Powell & Co. with his cousin James Prentice Powell as merchandisers in West Bay, and together they operated the schooner Banks. On September 12, 1935, he married Irene Eugenie Henning, daughter of the legendary sea captain, Captain Lorraine Henning. 5 children were born to this union: Loxley Banks, Julia Rescher, Elaine Curry, Sherilyn Decker, Lorna Hermer. James Emsley Banks died on August 10, 1986.
Wow.
That
just makes things very real.
Right. And this happened quite a bit because at that age, there was no choice. There wasn't any further schooling for him here in the Cayman Islands at the time. And you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. It's not like you can go to the grocery store and pack up food and put it in the fridge and you know where you're going to eat tomorrow morning for breakfast. These days, people did not know where the next meal were coming from.
Wow.
So even at that age, you had to make a living for yourself or help help the family.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share that little piece.
That's interesting too. 12 years old. As the old people say, you weren't even a gleam in your father's eye then.
Yeah, but understood where he went from there.
Yes.
Understand the man that it made him.
Well, as you were talking, Alfonso, and I was, Mr. Loxley, not to cut you, but as you were talking, I was thinking, is there like a boat that we can pile up like some of our Caymanian men right now and send them somewhere to get themselves together? Because I'm serious. I feel like we failed them in a lot of ways. Like there's a generation that's kind of been failed right now. because I do a lot of work with the young men and young women, and trust me, they can't walk in the room and say hello properly, much less 12 years old, go join.
Catherine, I know we can't share this with the general public,
Hello.
but I'll show this to you. Look at that picture. Look at that picture.
It's a little boy.
A little boy.
It's a little boy. Like, I have two sons. So when my sons were 12 years old, I mean, I was still, pouring cereal for them. Where you going? What you doing? So yeah, that's very, very serious.
Alfonso mentioned about not knowing where the meals come from. Sometimes your mother would say, go in the ground and see if you can dig up a potato.
Wow.
Because a lot of, just about everybody had a little backyard. You call it a backyard ground.
Right.
Or, either in the backyard if they had the space, or in another piece or another plot somewhere
on the property,
or somewhere else.
Yes,
and you had to go and scratch in the ground and see if there was a potato on that vine. But getting back to D-Day, and we've got a short narrative here that we're going to share with you, and it is a CI veteran, Elgin Scott, describing his experience. And this was only one of his experiences.
Right.
And you'll have to listen pretty closely to what he's saying, because when we recorded this, he was getting up in age. And actually, he didn't come back here to live. He lived in Texas, but he used to come home at least once a year. And he'd come up here and, we'd just entertain him, and he'd entertain us.
Right.
But listen closely to see what he went through to help preserve the democracy. And it's under great threat now.
All right. That's great.
In this time of remembrance, Thanksgiving, and honors, the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, in cooperation with Radio Cayman and Breeze Radio, presents this short narrative by veteran Elgin Scott, in reflection of his wartime experience, World War II, 1938 to 1946, when his ship was torpedoed in the dark of night in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, as he struggled in shark-infested and oil-covered waters, and German bullets, then taken as a prisoner of war for some 3 years, all in defense of freedom and democracy. Cayman Islands veteran Elgin Scott.
Troop ship, Queen Elizabeth and Mauritania, and then went down there to get fuel and then unloaded that, come back to Trinidad, take out for Gibraltar. On the way out to Trinidad, one morning I seen these lifeboats. The old captain, he's suspicious. He thought it was the Germans were doing a trick on him. But he kept the distance behind it. Well, the lifeboats were Germans inside of the ship and stuff, so you can go up alongside these ships. Then the captain, the Norwegian ship, the Colorado, he said he was sunk by a German raider. Sunk me. Well, the ship that sunk was we took him aboard to Gibraltar, coming back from Gibraltar, where the German ship was waiting out there 700 miles from Gibraltar. And we seen him in the morning following us. He had Swedish Miracle Line painted outside the ship. He had a Swedish flag flying. And he followed us that night about 10 o'clock. Then he came up, sunk it. Sea breaking all in. Yeah. He was trying to sink her by shellfire, but he couldn't sink her because all the other tanks was nothing but air, and it was on 2 tanks, had 2,000 ton aboard. So he opened that machine gun. I seen a guy standing right alongside me. Machine gun ripped him right open, all his intestines went between his legs, hollering, it killed me, get me out and first. Went and loaded in a lifeboat. The ship was still going half speed. And one of the guys shoot, let it go to Paul, let it go to Paul. The lifeboat turned bottom up, and we fell out the lifeboat. And when I got in the water, the ship was spinning around like a gig. I heard one of the guys shouting, "The shark got me, shark got me." I thought because it was so dark, I thought it was because it was scared, but no, it was shark on him. Shark had that guy, and then they think the other guy shoot. There was 4 of us, and he had the other guys were jumping, still in the water like that. And the Germans had a lifeboat out, and he come up alongside and grabbed us and hauled us in the boat. He don't know that they said there would be replant sharks around it. We had so much oil, you couldn't see it was coming of this oil that way. When we got aboard the ship, the Germans had 2 big drums of kerosene open on the ship deck with scrubbing brushes to scrub us off. Covered it out, they took about 2 of us on that. When we got aboard, they had 5 ships crew. Yeah, that's up 5 ships. The ship was a Finnish sailing ship named the Calora, the world's biggest sailing ship, 6 masters ship, the crew. He boarded her and took 50 sacks of sugar off all I wanted. They could keep her along a few bits out in Atlantic, and then they sunk her.
Then he sunk her. The words there of Cayman Islands veteran Elgin Scott, as he spoke about some of his World War II experiences in defense and preservation of freedom and democracy. Brought to you by the Cayman Islands Veterans Association, Radio Cayman, and Breeze Radio. Get your poppy and wear it proudly in remembrance.
Wow. That was something.
And that was, somewhere, I guess, off of Gibraltar, out there in the Atlantic. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And remembering it vividly, too.
Yeah. And you remember, if you can remember how we followed, that they picked up some survivors off of another ship that had been torpedoed. Mm-hmm. But the German, they call them raiders, marauders, waited on them to come back. And they followed them until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And he said, I think he made reference that they couldn't sink the ship easily because it didn't have any cargo aboard, so all the tanks, it was an oil tanker, all the tanks was full of air, so it wasn't easy to go down.
Yeah.
And then they had crew from 5 other ships on board.
Yes. And some of the things that he told in prison camp, and I think all the prisoners that, at least what I have heard from them, he probably experienced the worst treatment. A lot of them were treated real bad, but according to his experience, some of them didn't at least express their treatment to that level. Of course, some of them held a lot back.
Yeah. As I'm listening to you talk, Mr. Loxley, I'm just, you mentioned that someone else, it wasn't just you that wanted to capture these stories and memories and stuff. Who was the other person that you mentioned?
Well, Doran Miller.
Okay, Doran Miller.
Deputy director here, and all through, from I guess from the time the doors opened here, we were onto that track.
Yeah.
And the archives I mentioned, I've done quite a bit also over the years.
Why was that important to you?
Well, I guess I realized that a lot of the heritage and a lot of the culture was not being put in any form that it could be preserved, if we can preserve it, and passed on down to the young folks coming up.
Right. Okay. No, then thank you for that. Thank you, really. But it just makes it real, right? It just really makes it to be able to hear the stories, to continue to have things like this. Celebrate Cayman. You all are doing a great job with that, because it's so easy to forget. It's like the saying, lest we forget, right? Because when we forget things like this, sometimes it's like we're losing the value of how we got where we are and from whence we came, and the type of men that we had that would go at 12 years old, you know what I mean, and be able to carry our name as a country somewhere else.
Well, and that was probably not his first trip.
Yeah. So you see where we came from. So we come from strong men.
Well, what else was going on around 1918, Mr. Banks?
Well, that was the end of the war.
The World War
World War One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, right after World War One, some years after, the Great Depression came on, which was a great challenge for Cayman.
Yeah. So what were your, just a question for you, what were your experiences as his child as a result of him, the social worker question, by the way, as a result of him, going off at such a young age and being forced to grow up quickly?
Yeah, somewhere along the line, he mentioned sailing on the Beatrice, but we didn't discover this until he passed away.
Oh, okay.
He had it packed in his...
Right. But it did not. So in other words, it didn't affect him in a negative way as your father.
No.
I'm sure he was a tough cat, right? You couldn't play with him. You couldn't give him too much excuses.
No, the toughest time I think was the night before we were leaving, because he took me up to Florida on the Marco in 1954. He told me, my parents told me, the family's coming around tonight, so we want you to stay home. Well, I old people say, in cahoots with a little beautiful little girl up on North Church Street.
You had a plan.
I said, I'm going to Georgetown. He said, you can't go to Georgetown, you got to stay home. I said, no, Mom, Dad, I got to go to Georgetown. Well, my mother took my bicycle away. Okay. I said, I'm going to Georgetown.
Still going.
If I got hoofed, I'm going.
Well, I went and got one of my uncle's bicycles, big American heavy bicycle, and rode to Georgetown.
Okay.
And, the little young lady's house was parents' house was on North Church Street. So we were sitting there, bright moonlight night, sitting in a swing. And she'd made some tapioca. She wanted me to how this tapioca put.
Okay.
I had never had tapioca.
She wanted you to come from West Bay to Georgetown for some tapioca pudding. Gotcha.
and we were sitting there eating this tapioca pudding, and all of a sudden, my best friend, I suppose, and he had somebody with him, Davis Borden, rushes up into the yard. Lucky, your daddy is on the bay, and that's what they call around, the center, out on the bay looking for you. Come on, let's go. You got to go down to West Bay. Well, you couldn't, to ride from West Bay to Georgetown, it took you at least 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Right.
So I said, I got to go.
Yeah.
Dad's out there.
I did what I had to do, visited, but I got to go.
Did you finish your tapioca pudding?
I can't remember.
Just appearing for it was enough, I'm sure. Just the effort. But yes, you got to go.
When the next morning, I expected to get home and find if I get in the house, I got to go in through the window.
Right.
But no, the door left open for me. Next morning, my dad said to me, maybe I should just leave you here.
Okay.
I said, no, Dad, you wouldn't do that. And funny thing about it, the beautiful girl, wrote me a letter. Told me not to open this until you leave.
Okay.
So there was some little thing, but I won't, that went in between us leaving the dock and getting off West Bay.
Right.
We had to pull in West Bay to get a coat for somebody that one of the owner's daughters, I think, was on the boat on the Merco going to Miami. I think they were going to New York, and they left their coat. And Captain Benson told them, I'm not coming back to the dock. You can send it to West Bay, and if you can catch me down there, we'll take the coat on board. Anyway, but when we got way off West Bay, way off of Northwest Point, out in the Gulf, more or less, near the Gulf, I decided I'd pull this letter out. And so I told my dad, I said, I'm going up forward. And I went up forward and was reading this letter. And he came up to me. He says, can I read it?
Oh, my goodness. He wanted to get involved.
I said, yeah, Pop, you can read it. He took it and read it. And, well, maybe I understand better now last night when you want to go to Georgetown.
All right. There you go. Oh, that was a great story. I love that story. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Talk Today.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet. Because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The Spring Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office is currently underway. The Labor Force Survey seeks to collect data on employed and unemployed persons in the Cayman Islands, as well as those who are not in the labor force. The Quality of Life Survey seeks to gather information on life satisfaction, sense of well-being, financial security, economic outlook, and perceived health. Trained interviewers with ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households. The interviews are confidential in accordance with the Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For more details, please call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell, I'm sitting in for Sterling this afternoon. And I mean, I'm just having a great time listening to these stories. And I always tell people, sit at the feet of your elders. They have amazing stories. And that story that you just told, Mr. Loxley Banks, and, you know, Alfonso Wright, who's here with Celebrate Cayman. Mr. Loxley was just telling the story about, you know, just I guess that trip to Miami, right? And during the break, we talked about why you were going to Miami. But I just heard so many great things in that story, you know, just determination and you know, traveling from West Bay to Georgetown and to get that tapioca. And then, you know, your father, you know, respecting him that much to head on back, you know. Just really, really good stuff, right? And I think this is the reason why it's so important for us to remember our veterans, to remember our forefathers, to remember the men that fought for us, that stood for us, that you know, can remind us of who we are as people. And I think that sometimes we have come so far away from that when you try to stay so far from something, you miss so much.
You start going backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And so here's an opportunity tonight to come out and to celebrate and to hear a little bit and to look at some of the things that you have. And yeah, tonight.
Yeah, that last piece that he replayed there, that still had me. Wow.
Yeah, imagine.
And that's only one story.
Yeah.
You can multiply that by another 100.
Yeah, and imagine, just witnessing that sort of stuff, and how that affects you also in your life.
I'm thinking back. I think Mr. Norberg Thompson, who that's a household name in Cayman, should be anyway.
Right.
Hopefully it is. He was torpedoed, I think, twice in one day.
Wow. Yeah.
I was being rescued, and then the rescue ship being torpedoed. Yeah.
Okay. So so he was on the ship that was being
Yeah. You see, I don't think the community really has a full grasp on what made these people what they are.
Right.
A lot of them, that's where they got the seasoning, out to sea.
Right.
Starting in Mosquito Key.
Yes. Because I think if you can get through adversity of that magnitude, nothing really can stop you.
Yeah, and not only adversity, but the discipline that is poured onto you. Because if you're not disciplined and just like the military situation, if you're not disciplined and out to sea, you're almost in the same kind of situation.
You're kind of a goner.
Oh,
yeah. If you're not disciplined and if you're not a team player.
Yeah.
Because you have to be dependent upon your team. You have to be looking out for your fellow man as well. Now, I know you have something here. Is that?
Well, I don't know if they can see that on.
No, they're not. I'm just wondering what it is. If it's something that we can talk about.
Yeah, that is the cap that I was issued in 1956.
Okay.
And if you look at that picture, that's what it looked like.
That's not you. Oh wow!
That's what it looked like.
That's a different
when
man.
It was issued. Now, if you look at it now, well, actually, it's about basically in the same condition now as when I left the service. But you see
the same hat. Okay.
Yeah, you see the difference.
Oh yeah, even the hat looks different.
And you see the crush is what they call.
Yes.
The mission crush.
Yeah.
In other words, you go on missions and...
That means you worked.
Yeah, you go on missions and sometimes you got to throw your cap down, it just goes down, and it just, they call it the mission crush.
Right. Wow. I don't know if that's you.
It is I.
That is something. Wow.
Pictures don't lie, they say.
I tell you, boy, that the time changes. It changes us. But it's the same person inside, and being able to share that and commemorate, which is what we're doing tonight at Pedro St. James for D-Day. I think that's what allows our history to continue.
Yeah, and
right?
we want people to come out this evening, and the things we're doing here is a bit of a snapshot of what will happen later on tonight, Catherine, but it's so important for us to remember where we came from.
Right.
How we've reached where we are now as a people, and understand that Caymanians inserted themselves into world affairs in a meaningful way, made many sacrifices. We didn't just sit down here and decided that we're okay, we don't need anybody else, or they don't need us. We got involved in the merchant marines, in supplying the world of food and fuel and building material and everything else.
Right.
Raw material.
Right.
And then when it came to preservation of freedom, peace, and democracy, we got involved too. We didn't sit back and say, that's not our fight.
Right.
And we need to understand how strong a people the Caymanian people are.
Well, even just as you're talking, I'm kind of thinking about, you know, the arrogance that I get from young people when I work with them. Like I always call it's this arrogance. It's foolishness, you know, but they're arrogant with it, right? Like I always say they don't know much, but they're arrogant about it. But when you talk like that, Alfonso, and when I hear the stories, Mr. Loxley, you know, when you play the stories or we just recount these stories, it makes me almost like I'm able to make a connection between how arrogant they do sound, because they're getting that from their, you know what I mean, like their ancestors as well. And so the only difference is, you know, we would say, well, you all had something to be proud of, right? But that pride is still very important. So if we can find a way to kind of get back to the basics or channel it better, I think that we'd be in a very good place. And when you talk about us putting ourselves into world affairs, right? And now we're such a small place, but so much of the world is coming here because of what we have. And to still remain steadfast in our own country and what we have is really paramount. But when we talk about this history and how rich it is and how far back we go with the strength of our men, I think that is a good place to start. And women. And it's such a good place to start. So, yeah, kudos really for that.
You know, if you want to, you could sit down and look at the numbers of, if just thinking about World War II. And if you can get a good handle on the number of Caymanians that were involved as against our population, what percentage that was. And then you do the same thing for the U.S. population.
Right.
And numbers of people, you'd be shocked.
Yeah, we probably have a higher percentage compared to our population versus.
Absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
Probably when matched against any other community, if you want to put it, because that's basically what we were, just
basically
3,500 people coming
and basically getting involved in world affairs instead of saying, oh, not my business.
Yeah, and they're good stories. There are lots of, I mean, tonight we'll talk of a Caymanian gentleman born in Kimmenbrock who received a citation, a bronze, can't remember the proper name now, but it was bronze medal, signed by Admiral Nimitz.
All right.
Caymanians were involved, and in a big way. Yes. In a big way. We didn't just go and fill in numbers.
Right.
We contributed in meaningful ways.
Right.
We applied ourselves. And we did so much with so little education.
Yes.
To start with.
Wow.
We were educated on the world stage.
Right. All
and
right.
on ships and so on.
And that's who we are.
Yeah.
And that's who we are. And that's where we come from. And what I also heard was the name was E-Banks, and he dropped the E. Mm-hmm. So that means that the Banks and the E-Banks is family. So they can't tell me nothing else.
But of course.
Because they've been saying, no, we from the Brock and blah, blah, blah. I like, no. No, that E-Banks and Banks is far too close for me to even imagine that is not connected.
There's a lot of other changes that relates the same way.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, there are U-Banks too.
There's U-Banks also. Exactly. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I am excited about this D-Day 80th year celebration. It's tonight at Pedro St. James. It's going to be at 7:30, and the general public is invited, and it's free to everyone.
That's right.
Children can come to.
Open invitation.
Anyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, come out and have a good time with us.
Okay, and
traffic will be over by that time.
Right.
And I just want Mr. Locks thought that we were going to be here for about half an hour.
Oh, absolutely not. Well, he should know if I don't have a guest in here, you are not leaving in a half hour, because I'd much prefer to talk to people than myself. Mr. Loxley, we need to do a show with some of these stories, your stories, the ones you keep telling, and I keep telling you that, and you don't want to tell your story. So I'm very happy that you shared that. I will not forget that tapioca pudding and that ride to Georgetown. The things
we a bicycle.
You know, it was a big old American Western Flyer.
Western Flyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
My personal bicycle was a Ridge.
The things we do for love.
No, my mom took it away from me. You're not going Georgetown tonight.
The things we do for love. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank
we
you,
will
Catherine.
be back after the news. Stay tuned for more Talk Today.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The National Trust for the Cayman Islands raised more than $30,000 for conservation at the National Maritime Day Gala event entitled A Night at the Museum. The event took place at the Cayman Collection Center on May 22nd. In regional news, the Caribbean Dawa Association is seeking an official statement from the Trinidad government following the denial of entry into Trinidad for Islamic scholar Sheikh Farouk and his delegation. The association's president has emphasized Farouk's international reputation and unblemished record and is calling for compensation for the group's financial losses as well as a formal response from the government to avert similar incidents in the future. In the wake of 2 confirmed measles cases in Turks and Caicos, health officials in the British Virgin Islands are proactively instituting preventative measures. Collaborative meetings with healthcare providers and educational leaders have been organized to devise a comprehensive strategy, emphasizing clinical awareness, vaccination efforts, and stringent infection protocols. With the upcoming Cricket World Cup, there is an increased risk of exposure due to anticipated influx of visitors from regions and suboptimal vaccination coverage. The MMR vaccine remains a highly effective safeguard against measles, a disease that is highly infectious but has been largely eliminated in the Caribbean, with only sporadic outbreaks occurring. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Celebrate Father's Day with Digicel. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of better connectivity with Digicel. Switch Dad to Digicel and get 50% off the plan for the next 3 months. It's the perfect way to show your appreciation and keep Dad connected. Switching is easy. Visit your nearest Digicel store today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Make this Father's Day one to remember with Digicel. Better connected.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Radio Cayman will be broadcasting tonight's public consultation on Plan Cayman live from the Georgetown Constitution Hall from 7 until 9 p.m. Tonight's council will focus on 2024 draft planning statement. Plan Cayman is the proposed development plan for the Cayman Islands, sets out the long-range policies and proposals for physical development and use of land. View the planning statement at www.plancayman.ky and share your feedback at tonight's public consultation meeting taking place at the Georgetown Constitution Hall, which will be live on Radio Cayman from 7 until 9 p.m.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers of a planned service interruption and lane closure on Siberia Avenue area on Monday, 10th June to facilitate infrastructure maintenance in the area. Customers on Siberia Avenue will experience a service interruption between the hours of 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. A section of the northbound lane on Siberia Avenue will be closed from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Flagmen will be on site to direct traffic. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its water infrastructure and apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. Catherine Tyson Sewell, I'm your host this afternoon. And I am flying solo right now, so of course you can call 949-8037, 949-6990, or 925-3261 on WhatsApp. And let me know what's on your mind this afternoon. So I had a couple of texts, so I'll go ahead and read them. For the caller that was talking about the musicians and the CD, good idea, but artists need to make money first after they have spent to make it. So I think my suggestion was looking at maybe the Ministry of Culture for the grants and stuff like that, so it doesn't have to come out of pocket, because you're absolutely right. Great idea, but it's hard to do free things these days if you really don't even if you're just trying to sustain yourself in this environment that we're in, because we got to hold tight to get through this. And it is so cold in here. Where's the thermostat? Y'all love CUC. Y'all got some money up in Radio Cayman. It's cold. It is freezing. I was joking this morning because my house was cold, and I was like, listen, I wonder if my husband got an affair with CUC. I think he's taking care of her, man. He need to stop taking care of her. This is not right. The window was frosty. It was madness, and I had to go turn that up. It was crazy. I'm always cold too, by the way. But yeah, it gets to be that way. So another comment I have, I think that instead of government bringing back and hiring retired persons, with all due respect, because I'm an Indigenous Caymanian, 74 years old, and worked as a civil servant for 23 years, the main persons who return to government are usually not the Indigenous Caymanians. We need to invest in our education system, getting numbers of persons and our children failing. It's a very serious matter that needs some serious attention. Our children deserve and need the best of teachers. Private schools do. The salaries need to reflect that the results in the schools. And I completely agree with that as well. I think one of our problems was that we did not have expats in our schools anymore. So there's not really, a whole bunch of people that are watching the system and demanding that excellence is the order of the day. And I know that sounds bad, but it's so true. I think that people expats are going to be all about that. They're looking for excellence, and they want to make sure that their children are being taught properly, or whatever that's happening. They're going to be kind of all over it. And Caymanians, because sometimes I think, especially Caymanians that are uneducated Caymanians, for instance, or they have not gone to secondary school level or college and stuff. They're like, no, the schools are supposed to be doing their job, and I'm going to trust the schools, and I'm going to trust the teachers, and you guys are doing what you're supposed to do for our kids. It's not that way anymore, by the way, just letting you know. Those days are over. From the 70s, they were over. And I say the 70s because I remember when, we could say that about Sister Wilma and Sister Pat and Sister Hope and all those over at Truth for Youth School. You knew they were mothering your children and taking care of them and spanking them if they needed to be spanked, and making sure they held them back if they didn't deserve to go forward, or they had not achieved the level to go forward, because they're like, you're not going to go to 5th grade or 4th grade if you're not ready. And I know that things can be said about that, but gone are those days anyway, where our educators are taking that role. They're trying to survive too. They're out there surviving. I know that sounds bad, and I hope you all understand what I'm saying, but it's the truth. And you see, this is the problem. People don't like you to be talking the truth. And that's why when the caller said, boy, you get a good joke. Yeah, I'm funny, but I'm also very serious. And when I start with it, then people are like, oh boy, she's so intense. Yeah, you bet. Life is intense. I'm trying to be happy every day, but I got to do my part, but I expect you to do your part. And if you don't like it, that's rough. But it doesn't mean that you still don't need to do it. So absolutely, we are definitely needing to take stock of what we're doing with our young people and the school systems to ensure that they are ready to come out, they're ready to take their place in society, as well as we have to recognize that our senior citizens are not just, they're not just sitting home and waiting to die. I know that sounds bad, but it's true. That's not what they're trying to do. They don't need to be doing that. If you've not come to town in 7 years, come on, somebody bring this lady to town. Bring this gentleman to town. Let's get some buses. Let's get some events going on. Let's get some events in the districts. Let's get some events at the churches, wherever. Just let's get them back. Do we have a caller on the line? Yes, we do. All right, we have a caller. Okay. Yeah, so, all right. So, yeah, definitely. Let's do that. So remember, this aging forum that's going to be happening. It's happening on June the 15th, and it's going to be at UCCI. Starts at 10 o'clock, but you can get there from 8:30. They're going to have breakfast, a continental breakfast, and they'll have a working lunch, and they'll have lots of speakers and lots of people that are, just talking about it. They're going to have some booths and everything. And if you wanted to check it out, you can go ahead and check them out at Cayman Gov. That's their Instagram, as well as you can go to their website, www.gov.ky/olderperson-council, and see what's up. But yeah, June 15th, it's a Saturday. And don't forget tonight. Tonight is D-Day celebration, 7:30, Pedro St. James. People need to stop saying, Cayman, I got nothing to do. Because both of those events I just mentioned are free to the public. All right, so there's a couple of free to the public events and also Plan Cayman, just to be involved, right? We do have a caller on the phone. We'll go to the phones. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Hi, how are you? I'm
good. How are you doing?
Not everyone likes freeness, but then again, they doesn't want to buy a ticket.
Yeah, so which one is it?
I don't know that. I think it's both of them.
Right.
They just want to have something to complain about because, we are here crying politics every day about, the gas is so expensive and the cost of living is so high, but then the places is busy, the roads are busy, so
right.
That's because we have opportunity to complain.
Right. So before you even start on your thought, I'm gonna say again, but someone texted and said, I hope she'll decide to run in the upcoming election. God help us in this country. And please, I'd appreciate if you read this on air. I hope she'll run. And then they commented again and said, we certainly need people with who has some guts and good common sense who can stand up to the rich and special groups and every nationality associations. Caymanians are the only ones who fight against their own. So I just wanted to tell you that because I know your voice, I know who you are, and so let you know that's what someone's texting me and saying. So
really,
yes. So it wasn't just me.
Whoever you are, thank you, but I don't think we'll ever live to see that.
Well, so here's the problem. So there's the problem. There's the problem.
I am not a politics person to that extent.
Really?
I've been getting that thrown at me now for years. From I've been calling Radio Cayman and Austin and all them other stations that was available, and so forth. And everybody keep throwing that on me. But it's just that I love my island, and I've been in America for 10 years, and it's nowhere like home. And I'm home, and I'm gonna fight for Cayman as long as my eyes are open.
Right.
And me and God gonna fight with prayers for this island because in this island do need prayers. And whoever wrote that email, I don't know if it was a joke or if it was very serious or what.
It was very serious.
Thank you, whoever you may be. Thank you, but that's not my cup of tea. I was going to call. I was thinking about you this morning. I said, now, should I call and ask you this question? What you think about Christianity and politics? But before we go there, I want to get back to Trophy Youth School.
Okay.
That was the school of the year of a lifetime in the Cayman Islands.
Absolutely.
I don't care who went there. They came up with the education.
Right.
They came up with respect.
Yes.
They came up with so much qualities of it was just, I mean, like you said, Sister Blossom and Sister Hope and a bunch of them, they just took everybody under their wings.
Right.
And raise them and teach them and give them morals and embed Christianity into them and so forth and so forth.
Sister Wilma, Brother Abe.
Oh my goodness.
Go down, Sister Pat.
You know, want to hear something? I know when living there in Walker's Road, and we was to see them, any one of them, and we were out there with a pair of shorts, so we run and hide. We
Right.
didn't want them to see us in a pair of shorts.
Right.
And we couldn't and he was no Christian, and we would refuse to go to church. We wouldn't go to church with an open sleeve. We had to put a jacket on.
Right.
And it had to be below our knees. Even
Yep.
though the majority of us was no Christian.
Right.
We better make sure and go in that form.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Dress decent and the modest of a woman, you know.
And I would say that Truth for Youth is still going strong because 3 of my nephews attended there and they've done amazing. One is still there. I think he's getting ready to graduate from there, and they've done amazing. They've had great foundation. So
very good foundation.
Yes. And my grandmother, she swore by she was an Adventist and she swore by them. So I had to be in Truth for Youth door.
Can I give you a little joke? I can hear Miss Bobby calling, Rosita, get in this house.
Exactly. She wasn't playing around. Trust me.
She didn't play when she come upstairs looking filled with that broomstick.
Tell you what. You know, and I can count the time in my hand that she ever give me a spanking. You know, that was just to get me in the house.
Get in the house. Rosita, get in this house. Rosita,
That's right.
Where are you?
That's right. You know, Craig Marin, he refuses to call me anything but that.
And when you came back here from the States and called yourself Catherine, I'm like, but this is Rosita.
But you know, I didn't come back and call myself Catherine. That's my first name, you know. So what happened is you register your children in the States and they call you your first name. And so I became Catherine at that point. So I that never went back. But my first name is actually Catherine. So it's Catherine Rosita because my grandmother's name was Catherine Valerie. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, well, when I went to the U.S. too, I was being addressed by my first name to Ella, and everybody here knew me as John, and I'm like, after a while, then everybody started calling me Ella here too, and I'm like, hey, that's my
That's right. Okay. Okay. Because I know some people know you as Ella. Exactly. I didn't know that was the reason, but that's exactly. I don't know why that's our tradition, or it was years ago where we call each other by the middle name. So it's interesting. Interesting.
Yes.
So what was on your mind this afternoon?
I love you. Another little joke before we go. You remember the restaurant? Remember the restaurant in the U.S. called Morrison Cafeteria?
Oh, absolutely. Loved it.
Well, my in-laws had a restaurant in Tampa, so we used to close half a day on Wednesdays.
Right.
And we used to go there for lunch.
Loved
the
it.
The whole family, you know. So
Yeah.
you know, I just moved there, and when it was time to get the meat, when they would slice the ham and the roast beef and so forth to give you, I told the lady I wanted some ham, so she didn't understand what I was saying.
Right.
Then my husband at the time had to say it.
Ham.
Oh, she wants some ham.
She wants some ham.
And I'm like, God, I'll never ask for ham again in America as long as I'm here.
You know, that's funny because I said that one day was my aunt and they didn't get it until they go, oh, that's your aunt. Oh, your aunt. And I was like, no, aunt runs on the ground. So funny. Oh, my goodness. That's so true. Yeah. But you're right. Getting back to the basics, man, Truth for Youth is a great model. And as I was saying, I think that we didn't do well by almost like segregating our children from expat children. I don't think that was the way to go. So we need to be thinking about going forward. So do not forget that people are there saying you should throw your hat in the ring. And I know you want to say you're not political. Go and listen back to all of these call-ins that you call in and then tell yourself that story again.
Don't even go there. But you know, Ms. Tyson, in regards to Truth for Youth and Triple C and that Christian school there in West Bay, there was some real good super schools here in the island. They was full of morals. And
right, Wesleyan. Right,
yes,
right.
Yes. But today, I am sorry to say, because our children is being lost, and it is sad, and you can't blame it all on the teachers. Everybody got to take responsibility, and the politics need to stop using education for their political arena every 4 years. And once they get in, they forget about the children. And then they feel like whatever the children wants to do, let them do. But that's not how it works. They go to school for an education. They have to learn to respect as they go along. They need to listen to their teachers and be a good citizen for this island, because the majority of children we got in Cayman right now, they're going to be the future for this island. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Our population right now in the children's section, we must have got 95% of expats here who's in every school you could think of on this island.
I tell you what, based on when we compare the expat children or the children coming out of the private schools versus the children coming out of the public schools, and we kind of compare how how they're able to present themselves and all of that stuff. Who's going to actually be running the country? It doesn't seem like it's going to be our children.
Sure not.
And I know people don't like to hear the truth. That's what they can't take me. But that's what I have to just talk the truth, because that is the truth. And so, but we can do something about it. I'm not that person who thinks we can't do anything about it. We just have to do something about it. But we can.
I agree with you, but where are those people, Catherine, that's going to make it happen?
Well, you need to be one of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Do it for your country.
Mm-hmm.
I could come to your house. I soon come to your house and sit down with you. All right?
You have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You take care. Okay, bye. We have a caller on the line. Oh, we do. So we'll take the call quickly. Yeah? Okay. Caller, you're on Talk Today. Good afternoon.
Yeah, the Ministry of Education, they need to consider asking Japan for help when it comes to educating our children. Maybe even hiring some principals from Japan in the public schools down there to come here to work, to help us in the situation we're facing when it comes to having all our children educated coming out of the public schools. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that call this afternoon. I gather what the caller was saying is that they have a great model. So maybe we can look at the model or, have some consultations, some conversations to see if we are able to follow that model. We're going to take a quick break, or are we going to take that call? Okay, we'll take the final caller on the WhatsApp. Good afternoon, caller. You're on Talk Today.
Yes. Good afternoon. Yes, afternoon, Miss Tyson.
Hi there.
I enjoy listening to the lady that was calling. Yes, maybe she should take the lead position. I gotta say, she has the solutions for a lot of things that we don't really pay any mind to. And for the last caller there, I do agree as well. We should really be taking a little bit of consideration and getting a little advice from our little friends at Japan, because they're doing a really great job with their schools, and I think that we're missing a lot of those things that they're doing in Japan here in Cayman. I remember going to school in West Bay Primary School, John A. Cumber, and this was before Hurricane Ivan dropped. We used to know how to do almost every single thing in school. We used to know how to use a computer from year 3 or 4. We used to know how to do pottery, art, all these different things with our hands as children supposed to do, right? And really and truly, it's sad. I don't know what happened after I left school, but after Hurricane Ivan, it was like they wiped out all of the good teachers, or I don't know what it happened. It's just a traumatizing or whatever it is, right? But we used to do so much things in school, and we had such good teachers. I remember Mr. Smith, man. Like that was my favorite teacher. As much trouble as I used to give him, because he used to make jokes about his initials, left hand Smith and all those things. It always used to bring laughter to us. But I guess we losing morals. We have Christianity right now that is taking over politics. I would say religion. I wouldn't want to say Christianity, because you have a lot of Christians, and we should respect them because they teach us good morals from young. But when religion mixed with politics, oh my goodness. I remember when I was going to school in high school, they was teaching us how to fear the government. And I'm not going to particularize any teacher, but they used to teach us how to fear the government. Like it was the mark of the beast and all of these different type of things. It's scary when they mix religion with the public schools. I'm not going to bash religion in school, like religious education and things, right? But I do believe that we got to be very careful with religious education in public, in government schools, because if you teaching children about rapture and telling them that, if you don't choose God's way, that they're gonna torture you in hell when or on earth when stuff, like, Mom, I don't even like talking about these things too much, right? But you see, this is the problem. We don't like to talk about the sensitive topics.
Right.
Even with the suicide rate that going up on this island. Oh my God. I can tell you one story. Quick. It happened with me and my mother. When I was 15 years old, about going on 16, I used to skateboard. And one of my cousins, he do art. He painted a picture for a Jamaican customer of the flag, the island Jamaica, and a marijuana leaf on the chest. And I didn't know nothing about marijuana in them times. I got that shirt to wear for school for skateboarding because I didn't have no other shirt to wear, and my cousin gave it to me, unaware that my mother would have had a problem with that because she was working customs at that time.
Right.
And what happened was she pushed me and slapped me in my face. And you know what triggered to that was to run away, because I've never seen my mother result in anything like that, and I have no clue what happened. You know what I was thinking of doing? Suicide. But wow. I a little bit stronger than that. So I was just thinking how I would do something like that. But I can understand now in these days, maybe they do have children in school that think these same ways or going through certain stuff like this. And I can tell you what, the parents need to watch it, because some of these children are under medication as well, as I am aware of, antidepressants and all these things. They really don't have conditions because they're so focused on learning and keeping up with the children that they can't follow. They have children in school that learn a lot slower, and I have children that learn a lot faster, and they're trying to keep children at the same exact pace. How are you going to do that? Just to, I think we need to focus more on individual children that are causing problems. Absolutely. And figure out why are they causing problems.
Absolutely. I agree. And
why are they causing? Because people would look at me and say, oh, Alejandro is a troublemaker, but I can guarantee you I've probably done way more better things than them, because they can judge.
Well,
you understand?
Yeah, I understand it, and thank you. You came back full circle, because I was going to make a point and then I lost it, but you came back full circle. Parents, I believe parents are the key. Also, however, the problem, and I'm a social worker, so So I'm talking just from a social standpoint.
I had a social worker too when I was in school from 7 years old until I was
Right.
18.
And the problem with parents being accountable, because parents should be, it should start in the home, it should start and end in the home, first of all. But the problem is, if it's not there in the home, it has to be somewhere else. And that's why when the caller before, Miss Jan, was talking about Truth for Youth School and Triple C and calling the schools by name, they were the ones that stood in the balance. So even though a lot of the students did not come from strong homes or their parents weren't doing what they were supposed to do, the school stood in the balance. The problem is the schools are not standing in the balance. So I believe, I agree with you, that the government, I think the government has a role there to understand that balance needs to still be existing, and it's not existing. And so when I look back and say the parents need to be doing it, great, that's a great statement. But if the parents aren't doing it, why is the school not doing it? And what you just said, and I have to comment on this because it's a very serious thing. When you're 15 years old or before you're 15, I always say that there's a hump. I have children, right? I'm a mother of 3 adult children. And I always say that children have a hump for me between 10 and 16, 11 and 16, that age where there's a very impressionable time. And there's a lot of changes going on with them. There's a lot going on in their brain. So one simple reaction, like what your mother did to you at that day in your 15-year-old, very, very crucial age of your life, pushed you to consider something that is so dire that a 15-year-old could never be able to understand what that would mean. However, a 17-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old would consider it a little bit different. So people have to recognize how crucial those ages are, and something needs to be done. So as you can tell, that was something that's very serious for me. So I do appreciate you bringing it up because it is a very serious thing. And I'm so happy that you were stronger, and for whatever reasons, maybe you and your mother reconciled or you understood what she meant at some point. A lot of children do not have that. And so, yes, we need to be talking about these things. So please continue to call, continue to talk, continue to find forums. You and Miss Jan need to get together so y'all can continue to talk, because these things actually need to continue to be heard.
Yeah, you probably would have known my mother, you know. So I was just saying, like, as a experience like that, thinking from the older people that I know, I respect all of my elders, even those that try not to respect me the way I would like. I respect all of my elders.
Good for
kill
you.
them with kindness.
Good for
kill them
you.
with kindness. Like literally, I spent yesterday almost all day with my auntie just because I don't spend enough time with her. I said she needed to go shopping. If she spent all day shopping trying to find the right products, I'd do it for her.
Good for you.
But this is the type of morals that we're losing in Cayman, because you know why we chasing money. And I understand we need it, and we need it. But if we give up on someone else just for money, and then when we lose them, geez,
yes.
You know, I lost my mother. I wish I had her right now. She probably give me the right advice that I need. But
Right.
I gotta figure it out, even if it considers giving trouble.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, it's not easy being a Cayman, and especially a young Cayman.
Well, you want to stay out of trouble. That's one thing. I want you to keep choosing the right road.
There's people that breaks laws every single day.
Yes.
That we are turning a blind eye to.
Yes.
And those are the type of people that are keeping us behind time, like in the Stone Age.
Right. But but I'm not going to follow them.
Slapping the wrist.
Yeah, I'm not going to follow them. So I don't want you to follow them, right? I want you to stay on the right path, because you have great things to say. You have a great mind, and you have great contributions to make. Okay? And thank you so much for calling, and I appreciate your calls every time you call. And you know, we've come to the end of our show. I'm going to read this WhatsApp quickly. Ms. Thompson has the qualities at this time, especially since we don't hear from our leaders concerning what we need. She's the water lady that gave water to everyone. And another comment, yes, Mr. Smith, he's the one that helps all the children. He's the mathematician. And then another comment, some of these teachers are hired by video. It seems they come from the same place. Okay, so these are some of the things that, you know, we really need to be be aware of and pay attention to, because we can do something. I'm going to leave us with that thought this afternoon. Don't feel that we cannot do anything. We can. Keep talking about it. Keep pushing. Keep making sure that we are holding our leaders accountable, because we can and we need to, for our children, for our future, for our island. I'm going to sign off with that. Thank you all so much for joining us on Talk today. We'll talk to you same time, same place tomorrow.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.